Hi, everybody. This is Hunter, and I want to talk about empathy today. It's a subject that's very important to us autistic people. Now, there's this common misconception that autistic people lack empathy. Let's go ahead and start off in getting that misconception out of the way. It is a misconception. Autistic people do have empathy, and in fact, most, if not all of us, have hyperempathy. We had to come up with a term to describe it. It's so strong. It's called hyperempathy. Now, this misconception that we don't have empathy is harmful because it makes us seem uncaring and unfeeling and kind of robotic. And I've even seen jokes made about it, that jokes that obviously revealed that the person telling the joke doesn't understand autism and that they think we don't have empathy. But also, it can be dangerous because it can keep somebody from realizing that they are autistic if they haven't been diagnosed yet. It can keep somebody from self-diagnosing as autistic, or keep somebody from going for an official diagnosis for being autistic because they see that and they realize they have empathy, so they think, well, there's no way I could be autistic. Personally, when I first started researching autism, that's what I encountered. I would read the information and I would think, boy, this describes me perfectly, except for that empathy thing, because I know I've got empathy, so I guess I can't be autistic. Well, but I sure am close to it, but I guess I'm not. So this misconception is harmful. Now, why do people believe that? I think when these people are talking about empathy, they're talking about the hard time that we have figuring out what non-autistic people are talking about a lot of the times, and picking up on their hints and clues and innuendos and so forth. Like if somebody says, boy, it sure is hot in here, instead of saying, can you please turn up the air conditioning? And we don't pick up on that they want this to turn up the air conditioning. By this definition, they're saying that we don't have empathy. And I think that's really silly. That's not, to me, what empathy is. That's like saying, be like somebody who speaks Finnish saying to somebody who speaks Italian, or saying about somebody who speaks Italian, that that person doesn't have empathy because they can't understand me and how I communicate. If you use that same criteria, in reverse, you could say that neurotypical people lack empathy because they sure don't understand us. So I think that's a really inaccurate way of looking at it, and they need to find a different word other than empathy to describe that phenomenon. Empathy to me means you can pick up on the feelings of others, and not only that, but you can feel the feelings of others and you kind of absorb their feelings. And I think a natural offshoot of that is sympathy. You want to help them and you feel bad for them if they're feeling bad, or you also can feel happy for them if they're feeling happy. That kind of brings up the point that this hyperempathy can be hard and it can be wonderful at the same time. But in any case, it's a good trait to have. It can be hard when somebody we care about is struggling. They're having a hard time. Like they're feeling bad, or they're sad, or they're hurt, or they could be emotionally hurt or physically hurt. And we feel bad for them. We absorb their hurt feelings, and we just want them to feel better. And it can be hard because we feel sometimes just as bad as they do. And it can take a lot out of us, and it can be overwhelming sometimes too. If another person, especially if another person is feeling overwhelmed themselves or some kind of overwhelming feelings. And at the same time, we can pick up on the joy and happiness of others. And we can feel wonderful joy, and sometimes even overwhelming joy, when people are happy, especially if it's someone we care about. So, but it's positive because if somebody is feeling bad, we sympathize with them when we want to help them and we want them to feel better, and that's a good trait. It's compassionate, and also it's good because it's fun to feel joy when other people feel joy. I think of like a joy that a parent might feel if they give their child a gift and the child just loves that gift and is so happy because of it. I would imagine that's a great feeling for a parent. My empathy can be so strong sometimes that I can feel things in the air almost. I can go to a certain city and I can feel it in the air. If this city is a nice place to be, and or what the overall mood is of the city. We have something here in the United States called rush hour traffic. It's like in the mornings when everybody's going to their jobs, and in the afternoons when everybody's coming home for their jobs. And when I'm out in it, I can feel the anxiety and the stress and the hostility in the air. And it's pretty terrible. And I know during the holidays, like here in the United States, we've got Halloween at the end of October, Thanksgiving at the end of November, then Christmas in late December, and then we've got New Year's all there in one stretch. And it's a very stressful time for me and for other autistic people. I can feel the stress in the air, everybody getting all stressed out about the holidays, that they want everything to be perfect, and they're trying to make everything so special for the holidays, and getting their house together and buying gifts, and they're thinking about getting together with other people, and sometimes people have to get together with maybe family members or people that they don't like. And anyway, it's a stressful time, and during that time I don't feel good because I can feel all that stress and anxiety and so forth in the air. And I even if I'm at home by myself and I'm not out there in it, I'm just at home, shopping for Christmas gifts on the internet. And I can say, like last Christmas, I could pick up that a lot of autistic people in our online community were really having a tough time, and I picked up on it, and it was hard for me because I could tell they were struggling. I could just tell, even if they weren't saying it. So, you pick up on things like that. Good thing about having hyperempathy is that you try to live by the golden rule. The golden rule is you try to treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And you're committed to that because you are thinking about how another person is feeling when you are around them, and you're feeling it. And so you don't want them to feel bad. So you want to you don't want to do things that make them feel bad. You want to do things that make them feel comfortable and happy and good feelings. So you live by the golden rule. You treat them in ways that would make you feel comfortable and good. And it makes us considerate of other people and respectful of other people and polite and kind. And I can tell you that the autistic community, autistic people are the kindest people I've ever met and the most considerate people I've ever met. Um, another reason, I just was thinking of this, I remembered this, another reason why it might be thought that autistic people don't have empathy. I'll give an example from my own life. When I was growing up, I felt alienated and didn't even feel like I was from the same species as everybody else. Um, so I honestly couldn't understand, and I couldn't conceive that they could possibly have really anything in common with me, or that they could feel things the same way that I do. And so I didn't know if they could experience happiness or sadness the way that I do. And so maybe I appeared uncaring because of that, and didn't feel compelled to do anything about it when people were to show that I understood how they felt, because I didn't think that I did. And also, um, I never felt like anything I really did was valued. I felt discounted so many times that I didn't think that if I tried to help anybody or show any kind of anything that I cared, that it would matter, or that they even wanted that from me, because I never felt valued. So I didn't tend to do that. So maybe I appeared uncaring. And also, we autistic people can often have flat expressions, especially when we're just sitting there and having a resting face. It can be a neutral, flat kind of expression, and maybe we seem uncaring because of that. But I want to tell you that your hyperempathy is a good trait, and you should be proud of it. It makes you a good person, and it makes you a compassionate person. You've been through some rough stuff because you're autistic, and because of that, you empathize and you care and you have compassion for other people that are going through rough stuff, or that have gone through rough stuff, whether they're autistic or not. And that's a good trait, and you should be proud of it. Now, my empathy is kind of picking up that a lot of us in our autistic community right now are kind of going through a rough patch. Um, there's maybe some hard things happening in your life, or that have happened. You're just kind of struggling. And so I want to just mention a couple of things. In a lot of the self-help books, and I've talked about this, most of them are aimed toward neurotypical people. They say be strong, or power your way through whatever it is that you're going through. I don't feel the need to tell you that. You know why? Because you are strong. I don't need to tell you to be strong. You already are. So remember that. Remember how strong you are. And also, you're very important and significant. You mean a lot, and you are needed. And I just wanted to tell you that. You're very important and you do make a difference. And whatever it is you're going through, you're going to get through it and you're going to come out even better. And you're always going to be important. All right. Well, I always appreciate you being here. It's nice to talk to you and hang out with you. And I want you to feel welcome to come back anytime. And I want you to have the best week ever. And I want you to remember how special you are. And I'll talk to you again real soon.